Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him.
As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it.
For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 20. Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth, and saith, I've done no wickedness. Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is your brother Yahweh Ya'ala. I want to give all glory and praises to our Heavenly Father Yahweh, and we do so in the name of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai. Grace and mercy be abound to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth that are waiting on the second coming of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Today, we're doing a lesson, really very brief. It's really concerning some news that came out. I just happened to be scrolling through my Instagram, and the time that we're in, there's a heavy focus and energy that's being put upon the woman of this society, and especially among our people, because of the fact that many of the ills that we have as a people is due to the loose behavior of the woman and the men who actually co-sign it. Okay, but the focus on the woman is something that has not been done for a long time. For the last few decades, men have been blamed for everything that's gone on among our people. And as time has gone on and people began to examine and look at the data, okay, and doing an investigation on everything, we found out that the women are the ones who are the driving force of the wickedness among our people. Okay. And this is the reason why, some of the posts that I have that there because I've sent out certain posts, especially on my IG story, which I'm not really super active on IG and on Threads, but I do that because I'm trying to warn brothers of the dangers of dealing with bad women. Women are very destructive when they are not following the direction of righteous guidance. When they are not going in that path, they literally destroy everything in their path. The children that come out of them, the people they come in contact with, the world, literally the world falls. And people are seeing this now more than ever. And they're beginning to point the finger at rebellious Eve, and they don't like it. But guess what? Just like when a dog takes a poo in the middle of the living room, sometimes you got to put their face in front of it so they know not to do it. And that's what it is with what we're doing. And we are getting on the man, but let me tell you something about the difference in the conscience of men versus women. A lot of these women, they have no conscience. They do things for their own sake of their feelings without remorse. A lot of you brothers don't know how heartless and ruthless women are. And I'm talking about some of the women that have been among us, how ruthless and heartless that they are. And they will not bat an eye to destroy you and to take you down, to destroy your livelihood, to destroy your finances, to destroy your spiritual walk, and they will go right on along and they will move on with their life, not even thinking about the destruction that they left behind. So when you're dealing with situations like this, when you're dealing with adulterous women, and this is the reason why, again, I don't care who doesn't like what the heck I'm saying. Every child that come up out the womb, paternity test mandatory. I don't give a dang who y'all are. You could think that you're the second coming of one of the righteous women in the Bible. That's why, look, we're in a time of inflation, rising rent prices, Okay, all the goods done went up. The last thing you want to be doing is taking care of a kid that you thought was yours and isn't. And forget about the consequences of the woman and that child in that situation. That is not your problem. It ain't your fault that she decided to step out and create a baby with somebody else. Let her go to that man to take care of the situation concerning that child. Okay? Because you got a lot of kids out here that are angry with their father because he wasn't in their life, but their mother never told them that the man that they said is his father isn't. So you got people out here mad at ghosts, mad at freaking a false image of who they think somebody is when they're not. Okay? Like Chris Rock say, men tell small lies, women tell big ones. They tell some of the biggest lies. Okay? And y'all need to take out that aspect in your mind and thinking that these women are sugar and spice and everything nice. When you see when you give women the lead to do as they please without the direction of the man, you get the so-called black community in America. You're going to get a proliferation of drugs, thugs, and drug dealers, cross-dressers, emotional boys that can't control themselves, impulsive, grabbing, stealing. I mean, straight Satanism goes on when you let women lead without a man. That's just what it is. And a well-ordered, righteous woman will say that that's the truth because that's what the result is. Okay? Now, we're going to get into this. Now, this is what popped up. And the reason why I'm doing this because of some of this information is time sensitive and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, this is from the Shade Room. It says here, Rickey Smiley speaks on finding out that he was the biological father of his ex-girlfriend's twin daughters. Can you believe that? So he had an ex-girlfriend, okay? And she had twin daughters, but he found out later. Now, we're going to listen to what he said, and we're going to get into the rest of the story as well. Now, this could unravel even further, but there's enough information for us to get into this particular subject.
I have 5-year-old, identical twin, beautiful daughters. Identical twin daughters. I got a phone call from an ex-girlfriend. She went to court, found out that those identical twin daughters was not her ex-boyfriend. The whole time, here they are my biological daughters.
Let me just clear up the moment, y'all.
So you see the language he's trying to use? He's saying that the children were found out not to be her ex-boyfriends, but his. And remember, he is the ex, quote unquote, boyfriend. That's why this boyfriend and girlfriend thing it's simply fornication. It's just a way to dress up a relationship that really has no true direction and purpose, and they just call it boyfriend and girlfriend. And guess what? Our people are guilty of pushing this, including people in the Israelite community. You got people in the Israelite community, they cannot get out of Babylonianism. This is something that they're thinking. And guess who is going to try and push this type of stuff more? The woman. And a lot of men will acquiesce to it because of the fact that they want to get some box. Okay? Now, we're talking about non-believers, but this right here is still dealing on the subject of the immorality in the relationship setup that is so pervasive and common among our people. Okay, so let's hear the rest of it.
Rickey just announced that he has surprise twins, and he just found out.
Ready for this? Been knowing them their whole life. They've been coming over to Grayson birthday parties and play dates, playing on the swing set.
So he says that those two kids that he recently found out are his biologically, that those two kids have been coming over. So that means the mother and possibly the father, the guy who thought he was the father of the kid, were coming by. We don't know exactly the dynamic, but this is the reason why you need to find out who you... Listen, bro, we're in a very bad time, and even as believers, it's very difficult because we have to go down this road of having these talks. This is the reason why you need to understand what men you're running into, that the woman you're talking to, okay, or you're courting, which we're going to get into the whole quote unquote courting thing, because that's become a debacle. That's become a laughing stock. But if you're marrying a woman, any man that's mentioned, you need to know immediately who that person is and what their relation is to her. Okay? Because this woman was bringing these twin daughters over to his crib and to come to and celebrate the birthday of Grayson, which is one of, I believe, his children. Okay?
All of that stuff, phone calls when they were sick, what should I do? Should I give them this?
You did not feel any sort of connection. You did not see anything that's like, dang, that reminds me of me, or that reminds me of my son or my daughter.
Yeah, I just thought, since I was, older, that I had no idea, because I haven't had no kids since Malik.
Yeah.
When I tell you that's the first time I saw the sun again, during that dark hour, the sun came back out.
How old were they when?
Now, remember that his son had passed away. That was big news, for those that were followers of Rickey Smiley. His son had passed away, and he's saying a year after his son had passed away, he found out that these two girls were his. Now, we don't know whether or not that story is all the way true, and here's why. Because I'm going to go into the man who thought he was the father. And you see the reason why your brother, listen, I'm telling you brothers to get a paternity test when a woman says she's pregnant with child, you get the paternity test. I don't want to hear nothing from you about whatever. You already heard what I had to say. I'm telling you, if I'm in a situation and I got a woman and she get pregnant, you already know you're not going to do that off the rip. There's no discussion. We're not having there's no negotiation. Okay? Mama's baby, papa's maybe. These women are so diabolical, they don't give a dang if the baby's yours. Why do you think so many of them is trying to make childless men stepdaddies? They don't even care about your lineage. They don't care about you having paternity. Okay? That's why they're trying to push that on the men. So you're telling me women are out here with children trying to get other men to play stepdaddy to kids that ain't theirs, and you're telling me that in the same thought process that's making them push this type of culture on the men, you're telling me in the same way that she wouldn't mind getting pregnant with an outside dude and bringing it to you and making you raise the baby, you don't think she don't care? You think women operate on the same moral compass as men? Men by nature have to have some level of moral compass, even bad men. Go to the mafia and how they have rules that you can't deal with any of the men's wives, children, or anything like that. They got actual they have some actual ethics, even among themselves. And these people are criminals. Because men have to operate in a way that allows them to have proper teamwork to do whatever it is that they're planning on doing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. But whatever big scheme that men have, they still have to put parameters on how they're going to conduct themselves in a team setting, in a group, in a military. Because that's how men have to roll. There has to be a level of respect and boundaries at play. Because why? Men understand that if certain boundaries are crossed among them, that it can lead to fisticuffs, hands being put, feet being put on somebody, or even a blade being put to throat, or Glock being put to dome. Men understand this. That's why we have to have certain levels and boundaries. Women, on the other hand, they can go with their feelings and they can change their standards like the wind. This is the reason why women are to be directed and led by men, because their own idea of right or wrong changes based on how they feel. It's not consistent. Okay? So now, let's go ahead and go to this because I said it's time sensitive. This guy, Synergy_20, was in the comment section saying that Mr. Smiley was not giving the full truth and he was lying and he knew. So I'm going to go through some of these reels and we're going to see what he had to say. So I'm going to try and see if we can go back. Yeah, here it is. So here it is. He posted in his story the actual same clip that I just played from the Shade Room. He said, Rickey Smiley is full of shit. For 5 years, because the children are 5, he and that chick knew I wasn't the father the whole time. They lied. So he believes that that not only, so for 5 years or for 4 years, because, you know, you had the pregnancy period, because he didn't find out until they were 4, give it another year from the conception through pregnancy. So what he's basically saying is that they had to have known that that he was potentially the father behind his back, but it was not revealed at the time. Okay, to him. So you're gonna see some stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and play the next one.
Bye, ladies. Bye, ladies. Bye, ladies.
So you see him with the 2 daughters that he thought were his, the twin daughters. Remember, you could imagine he's got the name. They got his last name. They met the family, friends, all the congratulations that he got, the plans that he had for them, the things he did for them, the holding them, changing their diapers, the thought of protecting them from any ills and evils that can come up to them. All those emotions, those strong emotions that men have when they have a child, all a lie. It was all a lie. Okay? This is what he's dealing with. This is his video. This is not Rickey Smiley's video. This is his own video from when he was dealing with the kids, before he knew that they weren't his.
Give me a kiss. Mwah. Mwah. Bye-bye.
So here he is with the daughters, which these are not his kids. While this is filming, you can tell they're younger because you can see the older pictures, the older videos or clips or pictures. This is them when they were younger. Okay? And he's thinking during that time that those are his children, and they're not. Look what he says here. She's been his side chick since she was 17 years old. The mama encouraged her to do it. She's 37 today, so y'all do the math. When I found out she manipulated the whole world to defend this nigga and keep their secret, he even calls her first daughter his child too. So this is part of the reason why women out here sleeping around with different men is a problem, because you got these men like Rickey Smiley, who now, this guy's a multimillionaire. He's high profile. This woman has been basically smitten by him for the last 2 decades. In fact, if you think about it, because Rickey Smiley's, bro, he's got to be like in his 50s or 60s. So he imprinted this young woman because he'd been famous for a long time. He even had money for a long time. This ain't a guy that just came on new money because of social media. He had money before social media. So now what we're looking at is a situation where a man was with a woman and a guy has had this relationship for 20 years with this woman on the side. And when this is the reason why, see, you got these women out here, oh, I want to get married. Oh, I want to get married. I'm looking for my man. A lot of these women out here running their mouth talking about want to get married. They got a designated hitter. They got a man that's been dealing with them for years, and they have a understanding between her and that dude that regardless of what happens, if she gets married, gets into a new relationship, that other man always has access. They have that understanding. This is the wickedness that's in Babylon. That a man will get into a relationship with a woman, and there's this potential other man, this ghost, that's always looming around, that she's in contact with, she's talking to. 20 years. 20 years. Let me tell you something. When women start doing ultimatums, that's the reason why I tell you, brothers, do not get legally married to any woman here in Babylon. If you get a woman overseas, like in the Philippines or something like that, and you got to bring her over, you got to go through the fiance paperwork and all that stuff. You're taking a risk, but it's less of a risk than marrying a woman born and raised in Babylon. These women will push ultimatums on men for relationships, for legal Babylonian marriage documents. All the while, they are keeping the designated hitter, the side dude, around. And you know one thing about Rickey Smiley, he got bread. He papered up. 20 years, you already know he done laced her up. They got a deeper relationship with each other than this guy had with her. His relationship with this woman was 20 years. Their relationship was 20 years. You see, this is the reason why we talk about the issue of polygamy. And these women are willing to share a man for 20 years who's married over that time, in and out of other relationships. But these women in Babylon do not want to just sit down and be like, listen, I'm wife number 2. I'm the second woman. I'm the third woman. They want to have their cake and eat it too. It's over in Babylon for our people. It's a wrap. No, when you have to start questioning the paternity of your children in the community you're in, you are removing trust. You're removing the desire for men to really build with and sacrifice on behalf of the people. You're running them off. And we know adultery is a problem among, it's not something that is just standard to our people. However, it is the most ridiculous among our people. And we got the statistics to prove it. The out of wedlock births. Majority of black women that have at least 2 children, the majority of black women that have at least 2 children have children by at least 2 men. And it's funny, when Kevin Samuels was around, he was breaking down how many black men were fathers versus how many black women were mothers. For years, everybody thought it was just men out here impregnating all these different women and yada, yada, yada. Come to find out, 55% of so-called black men don't even have a child. These women are either having children with the same men or they're having children with men outside of so-called black men. That's what was found out when the data and statistics came out from the government. And look at this situation. And see, let's do the math a little bit, right? This is the reason why and brothers know, I'm gonna say it now. A lot of you sisters that are over 25, y'all are very difficult, not only to marry, but to lead. You're very untrustworthy because of the fact that you have so much experience with different so many different experiences, and then a lot of y'all have a looming man that you can't get over from your past that can always hit you up and get access to you because your heart is still with that person. This woman was clearly older than that, and based on it, let's assume the math is correct and the children are 5 years old now, or 7, 6, because I don't know exactly. I know he found out when the children were about to be 5, but we know that she had to be around 30 years old when this went down. This is the reason why in countries overseas, in Asian countries, in the Eastern countries, which we were more of an Eastern people, we're not Western. We became Westernized dealing with Esau, but we're an Eastern people. And when you go to those Eastern countries, they actually have like expiration date of marrying women. If a woman's not married by the age of 25, she's considered over the wall. She's considered a leftover woman. Over here in Babylon, you got us being trained to believe that a woman that's 35 is still young. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. This is keeping it real. A lot of you sisters that are older, y'all got more problems than a damn Rubik's Cube. Y'all are more difficult to deal with than Chinese trigonometry. And it's because of stuff like this. A secret designated hitter in past. And let me tell you something. When these women meet a guy of a certain caliber, a rich guy, a guy with status, and then they try and veer off because they're getting older, they're worried about their eggs getting scrambled and no longer being able to conceive. And then now they're rushing to try and find a way to get to a man that's going to marry them, give them the status of a wife and a mother. They don't let go of the dude that they wanted in the past. They don't let go of that guy because that guy has more power over her than you do. You're just a tool to use for her to get to a particular level, man. You're like a ladder. She get on you like a ladder, and she climbs up to being a wife status-wise and climbing up to mother status-wise. And she did it under you, making you the fool. Okay? Let's go ahead and keep playing. Them folks had everybody thinking I wasn't shit and a deadbeat after I found out. Hold on, let's do this.
I appreciate y'all for.
I don't know why I didn't pause. Okay, them folks had everybody thinking I wasn't shit and a deadbeat after I found out their secret. You know what's funny? This is what I said before, man. I said it before. You got men, you got people out here. You got people out here that think that a particular man wasn't in their life. He's a deadbeat. My dad, he wasn't in my life. He was a deadbeat. You need to first find out if your mom was a hoe. You need to find out if that man who you calling your dad is really your dad. Get that DNA test done. Don't let these women sit here and gaslight. You got women out here lying to their children, and they be knowing it. And they be knowing. And they will let you sit there and believe another man is your father. Man, that's like telling you that Santa Claus is still real, and they know it's a lie. Can you imagine your mother telling you that another man is your father and that man isn't? And then making him the bad guy, saying he's the deadbeat dad. Your dad don't call you. Your dad don't write to you. Your dad don't do nothing for you. See, I do everything for you. That's how evil and wicked these women are. And you want me to shut up? That is not happening. I'm putting full pressure on you witches. Full pressure. Go to my threads. I had to tell a witch something good yesterday. She disappeared, man. Man, she had to scram. She was hurt. I was just telling her the truth. She was over there pushing wickedness, lying like a mug. I had to let her know, you a witch. Your portion is the way of Jezebel. These people are crazy out here. You got guys, that's what I'm saying. Listen, there's men like Tavis Smiley that love and thrive off of the dysfunction of our people. Because you got people that are like you got men that are like Tavis Smiley. If we actually were a moral people, they couldn't move the way that they moving. If we were a moral people, they couldn't move. And that's what people don't want. They want this type of stuff. Because the way our situation is set up here in Babylon as a people, if someone wants to take advantage of various different things in the community and the dysfunction of our community, it's very easy. People are able to access people's children for exploitation because there's no father in the home. People are able to push drugs to basically and sell to people who are hopeless, depressed, downtrodden, struggling with identity issues, struggling with self-esteem issues, imagery issues. Look at the woman. The women hate themselves. They don't like their natural hair. So people are able to exploit the insecurity and the lack of a standard that these women have when it comes to their beauty and sell them wigs, extensions, relaxers, make billions of dollars off of them. So you got people that they actually benefit from the dysfunction of this place, especially among our people. It's deep. See, something like this, let me tell you something. You go to some of them Islamic countries, or even in Hinduism, even in Indians, this right here, if it's found out, people dying, bro. There's a lot of stuff like this, bro. Listen, bro. They can't even really have stuff like this in certain countries. If this type of stuff came out in the Middle East, in some of these really hardcore Muslim countries, and it was found out that your children wasn't yours and it was another man, you already know what's gonna happen to both of them. But among our people, oh, she was just unhappy. Oh, a lot of women will make excuses. There's going to be women in the comments making all kind of excuses, making light of it, laughing. Because guess what? That woman now has official paperwork for child support if she wants to out of Tavis. Or she's going to continue on being a side chick and he'll just break her off a little piece of that Kit Kat bar. Listen, bro. Even my own family went against me because of her lies. So his own family, this is how deep the lie went, that he was told he wasn't shit. He was a deadbeat after he found out. And his own family was like, you got to step in there and support them kids. His own family, man. You niggas is evil. You're evil. We dealt with lying men and women among us that was among us and we thought were brothers and sisters in the faith, and you got evil people that went and supported them and sided with them in their lies. And all that was just a microcosm of the sickness of our people that are outside of the church. They're outside of the quote unquote Israelite community. These people are sick.
I appreciate y'all for reaching out to me, man. Cause watching that video is so disgusting, it's wicked. And it triggered me, man. Like, I'll never get over that situation. For 5 years, man, they knew. For 5 years. The mama in on it, the grandma in on it, and the real victims are those twin girls and her oldest daughter. And he been calling her his daughter too, man. This shit's so crazy, man, but they don't understand. Man, that situation killed me, man. It destroyed me. It destroyed everything I had going on. Mentally, I was shot. And when I found out about them having their shit going on, that's when she started trying to pull the girls from me and trying to manipulate everybody and saying, oh, Nehemiah don't take care of his kids and all that shit like that. Her and her mama just trying to keep covering the shit up. Nehemiah, you the dad, you the dad, you the dad. Them your girls, come take care of your girls. Having her dust-ass homegirls harassing me and got her, even her brother just passed away. That nigga just died. And before he died, he was mad at me. He was mad at me thinking I was some ain't shit nigga. And that whole time, bro, I'm like, so I'm trying to be there, I'm trying to fight for my kids, and she just pulling it back. And it just denying access and the manipulation, inviting my other kids to hang out with the girls, all that. Man, that shit was so fucked up, man. That shit wild. That situation killed me.
My. Boy, this stuff is crazy. This is, listen, bruh. There's little wickedness, but like the wickedness of a woman. Ooh-wee. Listen, this is the reason why I tell you, every time I see on the news a woman get found out in the gutter, found missing in the car, in the back of a trunk, all that stuff, you don't be knowing what they be doing. Because listen, it takes a lot for a man to even want to go as far to even take out a woman. And what I mean by taking them out, I'm talking about deleting them. Oh, and the world will sit there, oh, why he, la, 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 la. But they be pushing these men close to the edge. They're trying not to lose their head. You woman will be so wicked. You have no idea the threshold and the breaking point of a man. Do you know, and real men know this, there's a threshold and the breaking point in every man where they know that if they don't walk away or step away or take a drive or leave or hang up the phone on you, that they know that they may black out. And women have no idea that this exists. They have no idea. They have no idea that men have a kill switch. And a lot of times men are the ones with the emotional intelligence because they could squash you like a bug and you don't even know it. Why don't you see, there's certain things if women understood the strength of men, if they really understood it, they would be scared. If your man ever shook your hand one time and he said, and he decided to squeeze your hand, he'd break it. You don't even know that. You don't even know that when he holds your hand, that he could break it. You'll be in the hospital with a fracture off of him squeezing your hand. But he dials down his manpower to be tender and delicate towards you. This woman had her mother. Her and her mother knew the truth, found out that the kids were Tavis's, or not Tavis, I said Tavis, Rickey Smiley. Found out that the kids were Rickey Smiley's, and then they tried to play keep away, and he was in a state of confusion why they were doing this stuff. And then trying to be like the kids, and then he had his other kids playing with those kids, not knowing the whole time that they're not even blood related anyway. He finds out they trying to hide the information. They're saying the woman's brother thought that he was evil and a deadbeat before he died. So this guy went down to Sheol with lies from his sister and his mama about a dude that he thought was a deadbeat. Ay. Man, I'm telling you, bruh. I am telling you, bruh. These people are evil. These people are evil.
And I know it's killing other people out here too. Not just men. It's these children that's watching. You know what I'm saying? She has an older daughter who I came in and I just tried to fucking love the shit out of that little girl because she lost her father a couple years ago to a motorcycle accident. So I just feel like God had his hands on that whole situation. I don't want to be the type of dude that come in and fuck that up. She need to see somebody loving her mama right because her dad can't no longer do it. But when I saw how wicked her mom was and her grandma is, I had to get out the way. So that just gave her mom and her grandma just all the leverage in the world. Nehemiah ain't shit. He ain't shit. You see how he treating little sisters? As they were just pulling the girls away from me and lying. And this nigga was too.
Oh man, this is crazy. You see why your Ak is telling you get the paternity test. Mandatory. Any woman have a problem with it, get out the freaking camp. Get out. Go back to your mama house. Heck out of here. The matriarchy of wickedness. The Jezebel witch coven of the black woman, the B-dub, the worst thing on the planet Earth, is a non-believing, rebellious black woman in Babylon. If you could find a worse woman on the planet, I don't know. You would have to let me know where that is. Because I don't see it anywhere else. I done been across the world, man. I done been around the world like I ain't seen nothing more wicked than what I seen here in Babylon. Telling you. This man stepped in to play stepdaddy to this woman's daughter after her father had passed away in a motorcycle accident. You see what we're talking about? That when we tell you, listen. When I said it in my threads, I done said it in the IG stories. You, listen very carefully, you brothers. You playing stepdaddy to a woman's child or children does not get you extra bounty points in her mind. It does not. It does not. You do not get extra special sauce on the sandwich. You do not get the cherry on the sundae. There is no reward. It is a neutral thing. There's nothing extra. There's nothing extra. There's nothing extra about it. You deciding to do that is because you desire to do that. Don't do it thinking, man, if I step in here and I help do this and I help be a good stepdaddy, it's going to give me extra. It's going to make her view me more favorably. She's going to value me. Women don't think like that. Their value system is not the same. Reciprocity is not something that they believe in regards to a relationship between a man and a woman. A lot of them have a hard time at reciprocity, especially when they did not grow up in an environment where reciprocity was taught. What they were taught was entitlement. See, in entitlement, you don't need to do anything to get something. In reciprocity, it's assumed that if you do something for me, I do something for you. They don't think like that. They're not thinking, you know what, this man stepped in and he's doing X, Y, Z, and he doesn't have to do that. They don't look at it like that, my guy. They don't. We got multiple clips from interviews from Kevin Samuels talking to women with children, and they do not give nothing extra. There is no extra favors. There's nothing extra that they're giving when asked, what will you do for the man that decides to be stepdaddy to your children? They have nothing extra to give. Now, I'm not saying that a sister that has a child is evil out the gate. I'm just telling you, you don't expect anything out of it extra because you decide to play stepdaddy. That's what I'm telling you. Because a lot of times the reason why you get disappointed because you're expecting something from somebody that's not capable of giving it to you. And that's where disappointment comes in. Now, how do you think that this man gonna moving forward with other women? You see, these women in Babylon, especially the so-called black women, y'all have done so much treacherous stuff to men that had good intentions for you that the word has gotten out to the point where people is falling back from you because they seeing what's going on, and men are avoiding you for anything serious. And we're talking about among non-believers. They're avoiding. See, because a lot of these guys, they have to learn the hard way. Unfortunately, a lot of times with men, when it comes to women, we have to learn the hard way. And then after we learn the hard way, we take that information and then we have to adjust. Because men are, creatures of adaptability. Okay? Men are the most adaptable creatures on the planet. Not even women. Men are. Men understand how to adapt to the environment. And because of social media, the internet, men are able to talk with one another. They're able to compare and contrast notes. And instead of them being a sucker, a simp, and a wimp for a long time, man, that stuff gets cut in half or even 90% of what would have taken them a longer time to get out of that state of mind. They get out of it a lot quicker. Because they're hearing men like us, like me, and other men, whether it be in the Israelite community. Heck, there's some guys, some suckers in the Israelite community. I know one. I know some henpecked men. I know a henpecked sucker right now that's taking orders from his woman. So we ain't talking about guys like that. Okay? But this is a cautionary tale and lesson with these situations, man. Man, know who you're talking to as far as a woman. Know who she dealt with in time past. If she got a man that she always talk about, complain about from time past, man, her heart's still in that guy. And the thing about it is, unfortunately, we're in a society where it's extremely hard to get a woman that's a virgin. So a lot of these women are out here, they have a history. You got to set clear and defined boundaries. But in this situation, it was something that happened. And you see how the mother was in on this whole thing. Let me tell you how wicked these women are. These women are so wicked. A dude will be married to a woman, busting his butt, working, you know what I'm saying? Everything, taking care of everything on full-time alert security protection, right? Because if anything go down, you got to be the first one that protects, right? And these women, their mothers will smile in your face knowing that their daughter is seeing another dude on the side. These women, sisters, will smile in your face. They friends will smile in your face. When you go to these gatherings and you're walking in with your wife, the woman in that family already know that you share that girl. They know that. You wouldn't know it. They know, and the thing about it, women don't have the moral compass to understand the end ramifications of what happens if he finds out. Because they like gossip, they like drama when drama's not needed. They like the chaos, they like the gossip. That's why they into all this stuff, loving basketball, loving hip hop, basketball wives, Real Housewives of Atlanta. They into that stuff because they like the drama. So it makes for a juicy story in the family. That's why you got a lot of so-called black people, they're doing paternity tests. They're finding out that their grandfather wasn't really their grandfather. Their dad's brother isn't really his same brother from the same father, but they got the same last name though. I mean, I even seen one, I might even do a video on it. The woman did a paternity test, did a ancestry DNA on her father and her father's brothers. Same last name, Her dad, I believe, is the oldest in the family. Then they got the youngest, but the second born, the middle child, the middle son in the family was from another man. She found that out when she had them do ancestry DNA, and she found out who that man was. That father, the brother of her father, basically her uncle. Okay? So there's a lot of stuff that's even being exposed even in that realm. And so with this one right here, the reason why they tried to do that, they tried to gaslight him and make him the evil person, because women want to protect their reputation. They want to be viewed as angels. They want to be viewed as righteous. They want to, so that at any cost, they'll protect their reputation, even if it means destroying an innocent person in the process. That's why you have these women, they'll cry about their ex and how evil and wicked he was, but they never did anything wrong when it came to that situation. You know what I'm saying? And then when you examine it, it'd be half of it, they be involved in it. They be part of the reason why it went down, or the full reason why everything went apart. But then they'll put it on somebody else because they're ashamed of the truth. Okay? And that's why they have this language, oh, Rickey Smiley's ex-girlfriend. You know? It's just like, huh? Like, get out of here. Like, dude, they've been together. It's just that whatever it is that you could provide for her, Rickey was not able to do, either because he can't multiply himself to be at two places at once, or he wasn't willing to go as far as committing and always keep her as a perpetual side chick. And this is what's going on, man. And let me tell you something. I'm telling you again, you boys ain't listening. Even in the Israelite community, you boys ain't listening. These women will be courting you, talking to you, talking about marriage the whole time. That ex that has their heart is knocking them down. Tell me how I know. I done seen it. You over here courting her, and she getting smashed down by her long-term on and off again relationship. And guess what? She don't feel guilty about it at all. Her moral compass don't hit the same. It don't. She don't feel no type of way. That's why you have some of these women, they get with a dude, and we had a dude situation. You know, people know about the story. I'm not going to go into detail, but similar situation. You know, where an outside dude had more access and had access to his woman, you know? And people think that it's just like, oh, yeah, women are supposed to just sleep around and blah, 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 and have multiple bodies. Listen, bro, the pill, birth control, you know, all of the other forms of birth control, the immorality being prevalent, and, you know, sexual revolution and feminism and abortions and all that stuff has allowed for stuff to go on in this time and age that never happened in the time of history, not at this level. So what people are seeing is a frequency of wickedness that people have never seen before, because from a technological standpoint, some of the stuff that's going on wasn't possible. And then in addition to that, you have to change the moral landscape in order to allow for these type of things to keep going on. And this stuff is happening all the time. All the time. All the time, bro. It's happening all the time. This is just a more high profile story and situation. In fact, let me see if he actually added anything more on this, because sometimes.
Right before the 1 year anniversary of my son's.
Man, that situation killed me.
Yeah, so that's it. And the guy's going through it. And unfortunately, you know, something like this, and establishing an emotional connection with twin girls for 5 years, as they say, your pride and joy. Then you had a stepdaughter. All that. You never lost a relationship with the stepdaughter you done built for years, because we can assume that the kids, she didn't get pregnant immediately, so it had to be 7+ years in a relationship of dealing with that dynamic of a woman and her already having a daughter. And then, of course, because the father had passed away, it made him probably step up even more as a father. And then you're dedicating all this energy, and then this happens, bro. Listen, bro. These type of situations end up on the nightly news as a tragedy. And when it happens, people will be in the comments, oh, why did he do that? Yada, yada, yada. Then you have men, oh, man, he a sucker, he a simp, man. He could have just moved on, yada, yada. You don't know how people are going to react in these type of situations, because the emotions involved, the investment, the deception, the lies, the manipulation is grandiose. But again, men are not supposed to have feelings. We're supposed to take it on the chin. We're supposed to man up, move on. All this cliche stuff that these people be saying out here. And this is the reason why that's why men are choosing to go their own way. And I'm telling you, men are getting to a point where they're going to let the whole system collapse. But again, it is part of the agenda. But men pulling back and looking out for self is the best thing. Put yourself first, even as a believing brother, man. Don't let these women gas you up to sacrifice yourself on the altar of the Black Madonna. You better look out for your star player yourself. What did it look like? You better look after LeBron and stop looking after Mario Chalmers. You the star player in your situation. Don't let these women gas you up to crash out like a crash dummy. A happy man is God's plan. This is Ecclesiasticus, Sirach chapter 23 and verse 22. Thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband, and bringeth an heir by another. For first, she had disobeyed the law of the Most High, and secondly, she had trespassed against her own husband. Thirdly, she had played the whore in adultery, and brought children by another man. She shall be brought out into the congregation, and inquisition shall be made of her children. Her children shall not take root, and her branches shall bring forth no fruit. She shall leave her memory to be cursed, and her reproach shall not be blotted out. So hopefully this is edifying to you, brothers and sisters. And again, I want to give all glory and praises to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and we do so in the name of our Lord and Savior, Yahawashi. Grace and mercy be abound to the whole full elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom.